guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous number cake. So if you would like to learn how, keep on watching. So as you can see here, I have 2 sheet cakes that I have baked and cooled off, and I'm going to begin by cutting these out to the shape that I need for my numbers. What I went ahead and did is I made a stencil of my numbers. I have a Cricut maker, so I was able to use that to cut this out, but you can draw them and cut them out yourself, whatever works best for you. So I'm going to go ahead and line them up, and I have 2 knives here. I have a serrated knife and a regular knife. You can use whatever works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and line up the stencils on my cake, and then I'm going to start cutting out the outline of the cake. Done, they're gonna look like this, and you're gonna do this to both of your cakes. Okay, so now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get a piping tip. I have just this round piping tip that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my cream cheese buttercream. I have a video on how to make this. I'm gonna go ahead and link it here in this video so that if you want to know how to make it, you can learn from that video. I'm going to go ahead and put the cream cheese buttercream in my piping bag to get it ready to start piping on the cake. And if you don't have one of these tips, you're more than welcome to put it in the piping bag and just cut off the tip. So here I have my cake. As you can see, I cut both of my cakes. Then I went ahead and separated them by that stencil poster board that I had made. That way they wouldn't stick together. So I'm going to go ahead and separate those and begin piping the frosting onto the cake. And as you can see, I'm just piping little dots. You can make them as big or as small as you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue to do this throughout the whole cake. So as you can see here, once you're done, it's going to look like this. So this is the first layer. Now we're going to go ahead and add the second layer. So I'm going to go ahead and move over the second layer and place it on top of that buttercream so that I can go ahead and start piping the next layer of buttercream. So this is how it looks with that second layer of cake on top. I didn't realize that I forgot to glue down the cake onto the cake board just to make sure that it doesn't move when transporting it. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to another cake board. I just put a little dollop of buttercream onto the cake board just so that the cake will stick to the cake board. So as you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and move over the cakes to the new cake board. So now we're going to go ahead and start decorating the top of the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my dollops of buttercream, just like I did with the bottom layer. And I'm going to repeat this for both of our cakes. So now what I'm going to do is get a piece of paper towel and go ahead and tap the top of the dollops because they do have like this little peak. That way they can flatten out. So once you're done, this is how it will look. And now you're ready to decorate. As you can see here, I have a piping bag with a star tip, and I have some buttercream that I colored pink. I have some carnations, some chocolate covered strawberries, some sprinkles, some Hershey's chocolate, some Kit Kats, and just an assortment of different chocolates to put on the cake. So I'm going to begin by placing the chocolate covered strawberries on the cake, and I'm just going to place them where I think they look the best, and this is all your judgment if you feel like they would look better on just the one, or if you have two numbers, or if you're doing one number. This is your creativity that's going to come in play here, so do whatever you think looks good. So now I'm going to start adding some rosettes onto the cake, and I'm just placing these randomly around the cake where I feel that they would look nice. So I'm doing some small ones in certain spaces and making bigger ones in other spaces. So now I'm going to begin putting all the chocolate candies on the cake, and as you can see here, I'm just going to place this Kit Kat where I feel it looks nice. Remember guys, it's however you want to decorate it. You don't necessarily have to decorate it like I do. It's all up to you. And some of the candies you can take off the wrappers, like on this chocolate heart I took off the wrapper. But then on this Ferrero Rocher, I went ahead and left the wrapper on it because it looked nicer like that. As for this dove as well, I went ahead and left the wrapper on it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish decorating the cake. And for the flowers, I went ahead and got a straw, and I placed the flower in there and cut it to the desired length, and now I'm going to stick that into the cake, and that's just so that the flower doesn't have any contact with the cake. Now for the bigger flowers, I went ahead and got a piece of saran wrap, and I'm going to wrap that around the stem of the cake since the straws are a little bit too small for this type of flower, as you can see here, and then you'll place that into the cake. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and sprinkle my variety of sprinkles all over the cake, just some random spots. And if you see that there are some spots that are missing something, you can always add more candy. The more, the better. So this is the finished result. I hope you like it. I loved it. This is my first time trying one of these cakes, and I am truly amazed at the way that it came out, and I loved it very much. I hope you have the chance to give it a try.